The one at the top controls the layers directly beneath him, and they spread out and control the layer beneath them. This continues until it reaches the wide base at the bottom. Those at the bottom are typically women and children whose lives have been manipulated into a constant struggle for financial survival that spins completely out of control at the whims of the man they are subordinate to. We have all been subject to control games to some degree. Some of us recognize the control game as a basic tool of organized crime. It's so easy to get caught up into it. The hook is always something for nothing, something that appears to be easy with big payoffs. Money, women, power. Oh, the temptation is great. So you take the hook and jump in. You work your way up through the ranks. It isn't long before you discover that, sure, you have power over everyone below you, but those above you have power over you. You are no longer a free man. You are a soldier in somebody else's war. Maybe a guy in a suit who looks like he's got it all together. Everything except his life. You and many more just like you will probably live and die a pawn in somebody else's game. The personal price of the control game is a demand of a final futility. Controlling and being controlled diminishes the authenticity, the individuality, and the freedom of those who participate in the control game. Some of us were born into it. We didn't know there was a better way. We can't blame ourselves. It's futile to blame our parents or anyone else for not being able to change what they did not recognize or understand. No one can teach or be more than they know. We need to realize that we were misinformed. We were taught that self-control meant hiding and denying our feelings and our wants, never admitting our needs or sharing our truth or knowledge. When did we become so insignificant that our feelings and our needs didn't matter? When did our knowledge and our truth become so valueless it had to remain untold? Stop. Take a look at that. That's not self-control. That's self-punishment, self-destruction, and self-defeating. It's a twisted way to keep us in control. But when we learned it, we were children, and we accepted what we were taught. But we are not children anymore. Our parents and those before them taught us the same way their parents taught them, with the same negative, futile results. When we understand ways to control, we also understand why we yield to them, even when it feels wrong. Understanding the hook is key to unraveling it. We all have a basic need to belong, to be accepted. Until we are strong enough to leave the nest and fly on our own, we are compelled to hang out with the rest of the birds and maybe eat worms if our survival depends on it. Self-control is the road to freedom. It's the road to creating the life you want to live, the interest you want to pursue, the talents and experiences you want to realize. But self-controlled people are not welcome in the control game. Free thinking would create chaos. It would be problematic for controllers. Therefore, most free thinkers are shunned, punished, and abandoned by their dysfunctional family, friends, and associates. Once you no longer follow the familiar old traditions, Even when they're destructive, you open yourself up to verbal attack. Pride will never let them admit they were wrong. It's got to be you, me, and every other person who dares to consider the cause and effect of the influences in our lives. For kids like I was, the price of daring to think, to succeed, or to accomplish anything was high. For a female, it was forbidden. My family condemned me. Controllers where I grew up never acknowledged that all people have the same emotional and psychological needs. They treated women as lesser humans whose needs were unimportant and unnecessary. My father's needs were the only needs that counted. I don't believe he ever thought anyone ever had any feelings or needs, anyone but himself. My dad was a victim to his own control. He didn't understand that he destroyed the very things he tried to capture. He didn't realize if you put a person in a box and nail the lid down, the only thing on their mind is escaping. He didn't understand that if he was harsh and unpleasant to be around, the only thing that was paramount was getting away from his presence. He controlled his family so intensely. The warmth, the safety, and the peace of mind we should have found in our father was gone before I was born. Controllers don't understand that physical force always creates a lack of trust in the victim. Controllers have trouble with true intimacy because they don't know how to be tender, kind, and protective. They have been falsely taught that caring and empathy are somehow not masculine, but power and breeding are. They fail to consider that apes have power, but they are not men. Insects breed, and they are not men either. It takes a lot more to make a man. A man is a superior being because he thinks, if he thinks. Controllers may be surrounded by those who are there by obligation or need, but all too often they die alone without the emotional satisfaction of real connection or caring. If the controller accepted and respected the fact that we all have the same basic needs, then he would have understood that he could not fulfill his needs by being controlled or by controlling others. The only way he could fulfill his needs was through self-control. Then he could be the captain at the helm of his own ship as he navigated through the waters of life. Aristotle said, "To free a man, it is not enough to strike the shackles from his limbs. We must free him from the bondage of his ignorance. It is not enough to enlist a man in your army. To get his allegiance, you must enlist the power of his reason." I love good authors. I found wisdom in books. It set me free to escape my roots in Utah. My favorite view of Utah is in the rear view mirror, where I can see my past fading into the distance. Hello, Las Vegas. Hello, California. Hello, world. Thank you for this opportunity to get to know each other better. Our music is Cynthia Brando. Contact me at RebeccaKimbel.com. Thank you for joining us. Without our great listening audience, we wouldn't have the inspiration or the incentive you have given us to present this show. We invite you to join us next time